one thing about this particular God, in Christianity, they had to wipe out the powers of the gods, which is the Nephilim. You put them all together, they represent the one God and the God one. That's why I told you it's important to get a book called From Fetish to God in Ancient Egypt by Aiwass done the last year of his life. Cost $9. You get them in black media. What happened was, when later day Christianity came on the scene and the Gnostic schools was closing down in ancient Kemet, and you had Christendom and certain forms of early Christianity, what happened was they had to take the God because they were trying to front on this whole monotheistic thing, which the gods was monotheistic from the beginning. Can everybody hear me? So what they had to do is they changed the gods into angels. You see, it's the same God. If you trace them back to Kemet, they turned from angels into gods. You see what I'm saying? So this was a way that they had to try to employ this so-called monotheistic religion, which their own the religion was always monotheistic from the get-go. You see, it's just that we do know with Islam, they say the 99 attributes of Allah. You understand? Well, it's the same in Kemet. And I have to stress this and all because when we're dealing with these things, a lot of people are still spooked out. Number one, so don't worry, you ain't going to hell because your hell is on earth right now. So, what happened was you had the actual, the gods turning into angels, those angelic forces. So what I'm talking about is an actual God, a particular God who is a melanin God, and his makeup is a melanin God. I didn't bring as many books as I did this time because I didn't need them, because the book that I constructed, which I have on sale today, some of them I have, I got about at least 25, 26 copies, but I'll have some more copies tomorrow. The book that I put together based on different, well, I edited the book really, and I put the book together based on different sciences that I had on this particular God that is on the scene. And when I put this book together, I got most of the notes and stuff in here that I'll be coming from. And I do have this book on, let's say we've been into the intellectual thing where we have gotten to the point where we started studying. We say about a good 60 years with John G. Jackson and the History Club in Harlem and that whole 9 yards, Arthur Schomburg and all of that stuff. You know, John G. Jackson was a person that dedicated his lecture, his book that you need to get if you hadn't already read it, Man, God, and Civilization, to Gerald Massey, which we now find out that Gerald Massey had a little bit of melanin because now we find out that Gerald Massey was hooked up into what is called the Council of Hierarchy, or they call it the Great White Brotherhood, which means the Christ White, or that Christ Crown Chakra, or it's called the Black Rite of Osiris. And also, I think you're going to need to close that door or something. Yeah, because that's called the Black Rite of Osiris. We understand this now because if you read his works, he straight up told you that everything was black. So now, as a matter of fact, they knew with us becoming smarter, becoming less niggerized, that what they would do is they would take all of the science and hide it in what is called the occult, but you wouldn't mess with it. Occult only means hidden. That which is hidden. So they would hide it in the occult, and they would hide it into stuff that they would call Satanism. Now, if you're just sitting in the room back there, standing in the room, you can come up and sit on the floor and do something if you want to, some of the people. Satanism. So this is the reason why you hear from this stuff, because they understood that black people would not touch it, and they understood that, and some of you brothers, if you want to give them sisters, you know how we got to do this. If you want to give them sisters them seats, you all get up and give them sisters the seats. You know what I'm saying? No, we gonna give the sisters the seats. And I asked the law, and that's been a good policy, both by the Nation of Islam and by the Afrocentric community for the last longest. So now we take care of our own. Remember, Malcolm X said that the black woman is the least protected in the whole universe. So we want to at least give the sisters the seat. At least do that. But what happened is, they know that you would not touch this material if it was hidden under certain things that you thought was Satanism. Number one, there's only one Satan, and that's a physical matter that is ruling you. Even though there's evil powers, but remember, those evil powers are used for the good. Power is power. Based on your nature, you can use it for good or you can use it for evil. This is why in Egyptian mythology, when you had Faulkner and these Egyptologists trying to explain it, they saw all these contradictions in the mythology because they didn't understand that the contradictions was just as much important. This is the African mind that you see in the abstract work and different things that makes the genius of God. So therefore, when we're talking about powers of the netters, we're talking about destructive powers as well as divine powers, or we would say subtle powers. You see, those destructive powers go hand in hand, and it is all the nature of the black woman and the goddess that is the one that can magnify what I'm talking about, especially embodied in the black woman, because she can be just as much destructive and with her criticism on you as well as she can be kind. She's the only person that can cuss you out, and then after she cuss you out, she go, want something to eat? Now, so we understand embodied in that, but that is the true nature of the goddess. The ultimate of the God form is not a male and female. It is feminine. You just happen to have a masculine half of the feminine. The masculine half is a part of the feminine. It's all one. So when we say the dual natures, we're talking about one nature, and that's the feminine. It just so happens she has a masculine part that you're saying is the male part. That's why if you go and study the triple goddess, most of the destruction goddess are gods are goddesses, especially in ancient Kemet, which is Sekhmet. That's why I want you to get the book From Fetish to God in Ancient Egypt, because there is a papyrus coming from the Chesterbated papyrus called The Destruction of Mankind, dealing with Sekhmet being the ultimate destroyer. And it is talking about mankind meaning a kind of man, and it's also talking about things on what we are dealing with right now, how you're going to get out of this mess. Okay, so I can go on and on. So some of these, it's called From Fetish to God in Ancient Egypt by Aiwass, 1935, done the last year of his death. So now, we want to pull some libations, and I want to do an invocation to Aiwass, and I'll get into this particular stuff to show you what's going on. When the white boy uses chaos, Satanism, the devil, he is talking about melanin. Remember Richard King tells you that they cannot go up to a certain level? Only 15% of them can, because 15% of them have melanin, right? So we understand because them not being able to go up to a certain level, once they go to these levels, they start hearing voices that they can't penetrate, and they say, ooh, that's the devil. So when they're referring to these things of satanic or demonology, they're talking about demonology from them, because it is our destructive force that's going to take him out. And the white man's God is your devil, and the white man's devil is your God. That's why we know now that 98% of the reason why your churches don't work now, all of them, is because those churches are built on Satanistic types of structures. And this is why you haven't been able to progress. Even though your own spirituality got you this far, which saves you from going crazy out of slavery, but now it's not enough because the white boy is turned on more Jews. Now, when I went to New York about 2 weeks, I went to New York on the 1st of March. I went to Brooklyn. And what usually when I pour the libations, the spirit hits, and I just ramble on, and what might seem like 4 hours, it might be 4 hours, might seem like 2. But when I was there, I was in this place called the House of the Lord. And the spirit did not hit me. So I had to take all of my energy to deliver a good message, even though I delivered a great message on the same level as the other ones, but I had to use all of my powers to do it, and I was trained. Whereas before, the spirit just hits. Like right now, I'm in the spirit, you see. But what it was, and I couldn't figure it out, number one, it was Brooklyn and all them buildings. That's why they got to get out of New York. Number two, if it was in Manhattan, it's a little different. Manhattan has pyramids on the buildings, just like they do in Atlanta, and they use the energy, and you can use that energy for your benefit. But like I said before, they're using that energy also for psychic warfare against Florence Jackson, and they said they're going to try to do the same thing to black media. But I was in Brooklyn, and the next thing I was in the House of the Lord. Even though they had black Jesus all over the church, we still got that Uncle Tom element that's in there, that destructive element. So it did not work. Right now, I would suggest if you want to get out of this, if you're bad enough, I don't see why in the devil, any of you. Now you can't, as a man and woman, think it in his heart. So is he or she. Why would you go to a church at this day and age? If you're on the frequency, if you want to make a good child, don't go back to the church. You know that is the death temple for your people. You know that there's 98 churches in this particular area between The Fulton County, let's say the Georgia Dome, all the way up to the end of Cascade, there's almost 98 churches. We counted them. Sit in the worst area ever. Why is that? Your church is supposed to reflect your area. That means that obviously that is the particular thing that is sustaining the mass degradation and destruction, as well as the 5 colleges over there that's giving the people an indoctrination. Now remember, that is putting out white man's mind. And your country runs based on your mental ability, because thoughts are things in the universe. So you don't need to go back to no church.
Even the chicken places are called churches.
That ain't gonna take that ain't that something? And like I said before, we know the steroids they put in them big old chickens. Like I said, you go to the chicken farm and them big chickens walk around pumped up. You know, so you know that. That's key. That's something. Ooh, there it is. That is true. So we want to pour some libations right quick to the gods. We can start it all off and get the juice flowing and all, because I know that this is a kind of cramped space, but remember now, any places of liberation we'll meet on top of the house if we have to. So we don't worry about that, no. You know what I'm saying? You know doggone well, about a few years ago in our nigger days, a club could be this small and it could be 3 times as much people and you'll be up in there sweating and jamming. You understand? It's just when it comes to the real serious thing, you go, man, this is mighty small. You understand? The brothers I appreciate the brothers for even trying to do something by converting their shop into also a liberation, you see, place. We know that we can't have elaborate places in the struggle when it comes to wartime. You know what I'm saying? You meet in the trenches. So they have done this, and more businesses should do the same thing also. So we want to do that. Like I said, I got this book on sale for $6 dealing with this Aiwass angel. I'll have more books tomorrow. And you know, God bless me to go to Office Depot and the paper was nothing like $3. So you know, that worked out great. You know what I'm saying? So that means I don't have to charge you a whole lot. You see, which is good, because we need to get this information out. And plus, I put it together the best way I could. And I know you all, anything is you. I don't know about that Dan. I really got the good shiny cover and all that stuff. But this is, but the graphics in here and some of the pictures in here is beautiful. So I think I did a good job to say that this man took me, and in 3 days I put together a book with 37 pages of bibliography and glossary and all that. If you decide to get the book, study the glossary, because there's terms in the glossary, there's terms on Sirius, and terms on certain things that will explain different explanations that you have been asking to have in a lot of my lectures. Well, what does this mean? So do that. So let's go into this libation. We're going to pose to some gods. This will be some Egyptian gods or whatever gods. I'll call out the gods, and then you say Ashe, and then we'll go with the family. And if you think of a god I didn't say, call it out. So then we'll go with the family members and all. So let's say Heru and Ashe, Aset, Osar, Jeshua ben Pandera, which means Jesus, Buddha, the blue-black god Krishna, the blue-black god Nomo, the blue god of the perfect black Osar, it's Osiris, all right. The goddess of destruction, which is Sekhmet, Ashe. And I'll tell you a little bit on it, because there's some stuff that's on the scene right now. I'm going to get into that. The god Bes. We'll get into him in a few minutes. The goddess Heru or Hathor. We'll get into her. Elijah Muhammad, ascended master. Noble Drew Ali, ascended master. Marcus Garvey, ascended master. Imhotep, who rose to the level of God while he was living. Ashe. Quetzalcoatl, the Egyptian form, the Western form of Heru. Ashe. Melchizedek. Metatron. Medu-Ra-Atan. I'll explain those. You can get my other tapes. Haile Selassie. Ashe. Prophet Muhammad. Ashe. Sun Ra. Woo. Goodness. Ashe. Did you see this movie, this cat made?
Yeah.
Did you any of y'all see the movie where he came down and had the spaceship and all this? I saw it last night. I'm glad you mentioned that. Sun Ra was the brother, and I've come to find out that the government, right, Space is the Place is the name of this movie. We're trying to get it available. Come to find out the government shut him out for years and kept you from listening to him. But they knew that the brother was on. And the brother lived to be 90 something, wasn't he?
The brother was torn in the wheelchair, man, all
That's
the way
right.
to the end.
That's right, all the way to the end. Ashe. Okay, let's get some, the god Aiwass, I'm going to put him down. Ashe. Ashe. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna do some ascended parents and ancestors. So this is my father, Bobby Hemmitt. Ashe. My grandmother, Irene Shaw. Ashe. My aunt, Irene Shaw. No, excuse me. My grandmother is Irene Shaw. My aunt is Mabel D. Ford. Ashe. Who else? My grandfather, Bobby Hemmitt Sr. Ashe. Now, which is also back on us now. So we'll put the Ashe to the God, the goddess that's here right now with us. Ashe. Now, any other? Come on with me. Ashe. Ashe.
Easy to listen.
Ashe. Get to your ancestors. They're gonna get mad now. Get to your ancestors. We got the gods. Because you remember now, the gods are all one. Once they get up there, they're all one. What's that?
Miles Davis.
Ashe.
Mary Bowers.
Ashe. Ashe. Oh, Batala. Oh, I gotta say that. Ashe. Bob Marley. Ashe. 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 Give me two more.
Norman Dawson.
Ashe.
Malcolm X.
Ashe. Boom. We're gonna bust it in the head like that now. All right. So now we got the power, so we don't have to worry about nothing all. The power is among us now. I can give me some water and Ashe myself when it comes to drinking. Now, one thing about it, sometimes when you see me on the tape, it seems like they say, well, look. Now, I get tons of books and I read often, which are taking me from the intellectual process because now it's a spiritual battle. But when I'm on the tape and stuff, sometimes it seems like I can't read because I'm going so fast. What is actually happening is the spirit catch me, and I'm going, and my mind and everything is going faster than what's the words on the page. You understand? But I got a lot of reading to do today because I want to do this real technical because we talk about this particular spiritual being before I get into the point on who he is and what he is as far as we are. So let's get this thing going. Number one, I want to give the invocation to Aiwass first. I want to give the invocation to Aiwass, and I'll explain what this God is. This invocation to Aiwass. Aiwass, confirm thy thoughts with thee. Thy will inspire with my secret sperm and subtle free creating fire. Mold thou my very flesh in thine. Renew my birth in childhood. Marry as divine. Enrich earth. Dissolve my rapture in thy own. My sacred slaughter, whereby to capture and attune my soul of water. Fill thou my mind with gleaming, not intense and rare. To one refined, uplifted, not the word of air. The most bridal bound, quintessential form, freeing self from self, freeing self to be found oneself in blend in spirit being. That's the invocation of Aiwass, which is also printed in the particular book also too. So you want to get that. If you want to get this and all, you got that and all, you can invocate him for some things that you got to do. Last night the battery stopped in one of our cars, the cars riding in, and we looked up to this ship that was above, and we invoked it, and the battery started back up. The brother said he wanted to tell you about that also too. So now we're gonna go a little while, then we're gonna have a little break, then we can go. Now listen, my stuff is long, but remember, this is knowledge, and we're at the final day. So you don't need to be walking out on instructions on what to do and what this God stuff is all about. So you all need to stay, because remember now, if Michael Jackson was on the stage, you will call for an encore, and not on that, when he don't give it to you, you tear up the place. Remember that? So now you all need to try to stick around to try to get this juice. Number one, I got a good thing I want to tell you to let you know how the spirit is working. I'm from a small town in South Carolina named Mullins. There's a man there by the name of Taft Watson. He was a coach. He was a coach at a school by the name of Rain Seminary. It was really in the woods. Mullins is a little town, with all the stuff and all that old stuff. So he was this coach. Number one, he was in Sports Illustrated as one of the winningest coaches in the history of high school basketball. Now, this is a real spiritual story, because I want to give you some things on what happened with this cat. Now, he won, I think his girls won 5 times, and the boys won so much they couldn't even count. Okay. I think he was teaching he's been coaching since 1945. Okay. I think he retired about 2 or 3 years ago, about a few years ago. Because his wife, she said, well, man, you've been coaching since 1945. I want you to get out and be with me. Anyway, she died, I think, about 2 or 3 years ago. And so he went back to coaching. He went back to teaching. Actually, he went to just take a teaching job to get out of the house to do something. Now, this cat is 75 now. Now, check this out. He went back back to teaching because he got the retirement, so you can make like $10,000 up, and if you do any more than $10,000, they cut it to your retirement. So he said, well, I'll go back and do that little $10,000 thing just to have something to do. Okay, he goes back to teaching, and actually one of the students that he used to coach on the championship team pushed this referee and got suspended from coaching. So that left him with both the girls and the boys to coach. Okay, now this guy is one of the winningest coaches ever. Black man, got a little short, petite man, with a big hair like him Hotep, so that's, Anyway, he went back and he started coaching. The girls was undefeated, and the guys had to struggle a little bit, but he had his son died, I think, in July. His grandson, he put him on the team to play. And at the buzzer of one of the games that would put them into the championship, the grandson threw up the ball, I think half court, and it hit net. And they won, and they went to the state championship. Now yesterday, this is in South Carolina, in Columbia, they rolled into the state championship. They got all the state papers because they know this guy is a doggone legend. Now this guy at 75 years old turned around and coached the girls. They blew the other girls out because they were undefeated. He started to coach the boys, and they started getting blown out at the first half. He came back and won 2 state championships back-to-back at 75 years old, this black man. White people running up to him like he's God, flashing these cameras in the whole 9 yards. And he said, well, in his own way, he said, well, I put God first and always have, and this is why this thing happened. The spiritual part about that is this man is 75 years old. Take on a coaching job that the other brother was suspended and ended up winning 2 championships yesterday. His name is Tab Watson, and you'll probably hear about him in Sports Illustrated. Now, why did I say this? What I am saying is, at this particular time, the pendulum has swung our way, and we are out to win. You understand? So things are happening spiritually all over. Now, one thing the brother said he once said, who is a spiritual brother, got his own ship and everything, and we all got our ships too. When you get into your higher self, you can rejoin your higher self that's on some of these ships out here. And be that spiritual army that's talking to. He mentioned to me yesterday that what is happening, and it is true. Now, money and all types of things are getting ready to go your way, and you get ready to get out of this financial mess you in. And what it is things are going to be happening good for you, and that's to throw you off track spiritually. Things are getting ready to manifest in the physical manner and the material manner to you, to throw you off with things spiritually. Okay? So we want to tell you these things to be aware, because remember now, you are in the last days. There is no more time. The time is up. The what they call the grace period is up, and there's no more time. So you are in the last days. Now, what I want to do is, to start this thing all off, I want to go into some things to introduce this particular angelic being. We need to go back over the origins of the Hebrews that I explained the other night on the radio, to give you somewhat of what's going on, and also go back over the Ark of the Covenant, which is the setup of World War III that the white boy made his last move about 2 weeks ago. Okay? So we're going to go into that right quick, and I want to get you some type of feel on what's going on, because this Aiwass melanin angel ties right in with that. So I want to go back into that also. Now, what is going on? We go back to the first blue-black primordial god, Soot, which is the first set. We know that there's 2 Adams, the Adam Cadmon, which is the heavenly man, and the Adam, which is the animal man, which they talk about in your Kabbalistic writings, more than it is your biblical writings. But if you know that the Kabbalah is the precursor to the actual Bible, if you want to understand the esoteric meanings of the Bible, go and get your holy Kabbalah. Now, it's just like Devil Blair said that the black man had 12 DNA strands, which is the same as the 12 tribes of Israel. 10 of those were smashed by some aliens or whatever. He only has 2 now, but there was 12 DNA strands. There's other 10, but if you get the Holy Kabbalah, you will actually see the 10 Sephiros, or the 10 spheres that I always show, which is part of the other 10 DNA strands. And to tap into that is to tap into the actual other DNA. In the middle middle is a sphere called dark, which means melody. This is where they get the word Darth Vader from, which is the black angel, which is also Aiwass, who governs the Death Star. The Death Star is Sirius. It's death to them. Okay? I got a little more information on this hell concept that you're so scared about also. So now, this is where you get Darth Vader and different things that's going on also. That's going on now. To go back to this Jewish origin, what we want to do is, this first blue-black god soot that I always talk about, which is the first set, which is in the Temple of Dendera, which is 90,000 years old. It's in the Temple of Dendera. That particular primordial god of all time is not only a god that was dead, but it's a god that's supposed to re-rise. Now, stay close to this story. Anyway, what happened in Kemet is based on your Hyksos kings. Now we have evidence and we have science on the Hyksos. Dealing with Jeremiah and other, when they actually survey this particular science, they find out that the Hyksos kings were a group of people that was not an outside people. There were some people that worshipped the ancient Typhon and the mother and the son religion. Then you had the Amens that rose up, and they started, and they had a battle going on between which religion was going to be established. And they ended up getting pushed aside, and the cult of Amen rose up. Now, these particular two different religions are the same religions, number one. It's just a different mythological explaining. Where one is based on the father, and one is based on the mother. What happened in the Hyksos period is in the period of that, 150 years, the Typhon, the ancient Typhon, or Typhon religion rose up again. We talk about the good set. The bad set is not a god. That is a mutant. If you go to the Amen's religion, they explain this mutant, which is this white boy, in the Heretic Prize of the British Museum. So you got two set Typhons. You got one called the god of the perfect black, or the blue-black god Sut, where you get your word smut comes from, or Sut comes from. And you have the other one set, it's called the red-haired Egyptian Jesus. Gerald Matthews works in Ancient Egypt, Light of the World, where he explains that. But you have the blue-black god Sut, which also in my book here, I give you some explanations on this blue-black god Sut, is the one we're talking about. Now, the Hyksos ruled for, about 150 years. Then they got kicked out. Now, we know no nomadic people can come outside of a great place like Kemet and rule. The priests and all this was 360 degrees. And rule them at that particular time when before then, at the place they said they came from, there was no civilization down there whatsoever. So how can they rule for 150 years when the priests got the forces of the universe? What happened was we got the same Egyptians were, the Hyksos were none other than another set of the Egyptians, of the Kemites, that started ruling and had their own priesthood. So they had the doggone Jews to keep on ruling for the simple fact they had their own priesthood. Okay? Now, they were also called the disk worshippers, or the sun worshippers of the disk. They came from Ethiopia. The sun worshippers and the disk worshippers, not talking about this particular physical sun, but it's talking about the great central sun, Sirius. Everybody with me? That was also called the disk worshippers. Now, they were finally driven into a place. They had 2 or 3 pharaohs that went up against them. One was Sekhemre, was one of the first ones to go into this particular battle, and he went up against the actual Hyksos. The other one was one of the French sons in between that carried it on, because Sekhemre got killed. Then you have the last son, Amos, who pushed them out. Now, they were pushed out into a city called Aiwass. I always get it wrong. Aiwass. Now, then after Aiwass, which was the city that they were pushed off, I think it was still in the nome of Kemet, they were later gone to a place called Syria. They were later pushed on to Syria, where in Syria they built the country of Judea. And then they set up a city in Judea and called it Jerusalem. Everybody with me? Judea was named for the outcast Jews of Egypt. In the city Aiwass was called Typhon. The city of Aiwass was also called Typhon. Now, the Jewish Hebrew language was the original language that was borrowed from Kemet. Now, they say the Hebrews was composed of hieroglyphics and symbols and myths of the Egyptians and their gods. The imageries and allegories of divinities found in the Hebrew writings are the Egyptians, apparent of the Typhon cult. The Jewish outcast materials originally mythological in Egypt, but converted into history of the Jews. Now, we understand that he said the Jews were a tribe of Egyptians revolted against the established religion, which was talking about the Amen religion, and we talking about the other set Typhon cult, or the Sut Typhon cult, which is an earlier cult coming up from Ethiopia. Now, Jehovah can be traced back to the Great Mother. Now, Jehovah, as we thought, was a masculine deity. Jehovah, the original Jehovah, is none other than the Great Mother's Apit Nut Tired. Okay? Now, let's go on. The followers of Ramesses II, who supposed to have been a pharaoh of the Egyptian or the Kemetic dynasty. Now, tell the brother he's going to have to turn that little music down a little bit, because I know it's going to distract some of the people and all. Just turn it down just a little bit now. The actual Ramesses dynasty, which supposed to have been the people who kicked the actual Jews out. And we know we got a big old body of Ramesses left over. And we also got a temple of Abyssimbel in Nubia left over. And we also have the Ramesses and all this stuff that was built for a particular man that was supposed to have drowned in the Exodus. And we know that that's just a mythological thing, because wasn't the Exodus that they're talking about never occurred in Kemet. Now, Ramesses was a Typhon worshiper himself. Now, we're not talking about the other set Typhon. We're talking about the first primordial Typhon, the blue-black god Sut. His father was named Seti I, which Seti I was a form of that Sut, the first primordial god. Sut Typhon, who is his astronomical counterpart, is Sirius. Ramesses was a Sut Typhon worshiper himself. Now, Sut was a god of the Negroes and the Ethiopians that was called Aten. Also, a Sut-Neshi, the son of the horizon in the eschatology worshipped by the Ethiopians. The Ethiopians worship a blue-black god called Sut-Nesi. Later on became Aten, or Medu-Ra-Atan. Now, this is going to later on pop back up in Kemet later on with Akhenaten. Now, you got to keep these things, because we're trying to fuse these two together to let you know that it's all the same. But later on, Akhenaten rises up. Now, when Akhenaten rises up, is a time when there's a little bit of chaos going on in ancient Kemet, where the people started partying all night. Get Donald Redwood's book, Akhenaten, the Heretic King, where they go into the actual, where the people started partying all night. When Akhenaten rises up, he said he was going to put an end to that socially. So what he did was, his mother was Queen T, who was an Ethiopian. Now what happened was, she worshipped the god Aten that was in Ethiopia. Later on, Aten is a symbol also of the Sphinx, which is the crown and conquering lion of Judah. See how these things tie in? Which is the actual primordial segment, is the first crown and conquering lion of Judah. But also the Sphinx represents Aten on the horizon, on both horizons. His mother worshipped Aten in Ethiopia. So when he got in, he set up Aten. The priest took him out, not because of the particular god, because the god was old in Kemet. It goes all the way back to the primordial god Sut. You see, Sut, which is the same ones, because now the old cult on which the Hyksos worshipped came out of Ethiopia and on down the Nile Valley on into the primordial god. Sut, Sut-Nesi, Sut-Nubit, Aten is the name of that particular god also. Later on, the Seth in the Bible, where the Bible gives up where it comes from, where they put the second son of, what the third son of Adam is called Seth, is the same Sut. They just changed things things around now. One of the pre-Christians were called the Scythians, if you understand the Gnostic, because a good book to get is the Jean Duress book called The Secret Book of Egyptian Gnostics. That particular book goes into where if you take the Soot Typhon of Egypt, the Seth of the Bible, and put them in, they are all the same. Even Jesus was a soot worshiper. But we're talking about the primordial set other than the other set. The other set was never worshipped. It's just an explanation of the white man up against the God of the perfect black, Osiris. Everybody got that clear? Now, he rose up. He got taken out because of his political role other than the religious role. Even though he tried to establish what he called a monotheistic religion, but he didn't understand that the actual Amen religion was a monotheistic religion from the get-go. You see, Amen is also a form of the saints also, so we're talking about some of the same religious ideologies. It's about like a fight in the Christian church now. You got different sects that's talking about the same religion. Now, he got taken out. Moses rises up, and you can get the book Moses and Monotheism by Sigmund Freud. You remember that one? Moses rises up. I don't know what they say in the estimate, and also get Charles Finch's book, Echoes of the Old Dark Land. Moses rises up, and he is a student of Akhenaten. If he wasn't a student as far as right up under, he was a student of the teachers of Akhenaten also, okay? Now, Moses rises up. What happens is this. You have a group of other people that are later on worshiping the Soot Typhon religion. Moses being a student of Akhenaten, what happens is, when this particular people, these Hebrew people get thrown out or get into this big fight with the Ramesside king supposedly. And also you can get a book, if you want to get the true story of this, in an article called Against Apion it's in the works of Josephus. And in one of the works, get the complete book of Josephus, where he actually talks about Against Apion, where they talk about this second fight going on. Now you have the first relatives is the Hyksos. They get thrown out. Okay? Everybody got me? You got another people rising up right after Akhenaten. They're worshiping the same Soot Typhon religion. They are cousins of the original Hyksos, but all of them are Egyptian. Remember now, they couldn't sustain a religion because all religion came from one place. But we're talking about they were Egyptians as far as the race. We're talking about a race of black people breaking off. So now, this is the time of Akhenaten. Akhenaten comes on the scene. He gets taken out. Moses rises up, and he is a high priest. Remember that when we get into this Ark of the Covenant, we understand how he actually fashioned the Ark of the Covenant. Now, he's a high priest. So now he rises up. What happens is the Hebrews at this time get kicked out again for worshiping Set and they get kicked out into the city of Aiwass, where their cousins a couple of 100 years ago went to that same city. This city was left over for those Soot Typhon worshipers. So now what happens is Moses was a high priest that understood that these people by prophecy would later on rule the world. Now, at a certain time, if you notice, they say that the Egyptians, you're coming out of Egypt riding an ass. The Hebrews came out of Egypt riding an ass. Real symbolic. One of the actual Hebrew gods was called El, Har, which is Heru, Sut, Israel, which means Isis, Ra, which means the sun, and El, which means the child. Adani is one of those particular gods also, and also one of the names of Adani is Aiwass. Okay, now, El also means the child. There was a book that was presented by this particular blue-black god called Aiwass later on in the 20th century. We know that they said that the Quran is the last prophet of Allah. But what we didn't realize is the white boys received the last book and held on to it for 90 years. And you just didn't know about it. It didn't come to you for the simple fact you were already a people that was going to rise up anyway. Just as the doggone cycles go, you're going to be on top whether you like it or not. They just saying in individually, y'all need to get with it so you can get with the cycle. And don't go out with the beast. So they didn't need a book to come to you. You had all the other books before. So the book had to come to the white boys to give them a warning. It's actually our book. But it came to the white boys to give them a warning on what some things are going on. By him being the beast, he just held the book from the rest of his people. Now this particular book, we know that the oldest book in the world is the Egyptian or the Kemetic Book of the Dead, right? The Kemetic Book of the Dead, or the Egyptian Book of Coming Forth by Day, is the oldest book in the world that we know of, because at one time we were all gods and we didn't need books, right? Okay, now, the only book, wouldn't it be funny that the oldest book in the world would only be the only book in the last days that would rise up again? And that book I'm going to get into later on about this particular book that rose up again. It's the only book that came out twice. All the other books, this book came out twice because this was the original book. And if you look at the other books, they are carbon copies of the original. Now, if you're Islamic, if you're Hebrew and all that, that's cool. That just means that your religion is tapped into the original, so you weren't on course. It's all one. It's all by black people. You understand? We don't need to get in an argument with first and last because it was all of ours. We were the first people. And at one time, we didn't need books at all. Remember now, we was radiating at the level of godhood at one time, and we didn't need books. It was only when the chakras closed down and we started going into a third dimensional concept. You checking that? Is that right? Brother, this is important. You know what I'm saying? Very important. This is for now.
You see the light blinking?
Nah, I ain't gonna see no light. You know that?
This light right here.
I'm saying I'm not gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? Now, this particular book would rise up again. It is the first book, which is the original book. So the last book would be a part of the original book too. Two Kemetic books. You didn't know about one because one happened so long ago until it was out of your existence. But it came into your existence through these other books. The actual book that is the last book to come down, which was given by this particular angelic angel called Aiwass, was an Egyptian book. Okay? Now, in Kemet, they say that the Hebrews or even Jesus came out of Kemet riding on an ass. Now the ass was a type of soot. The first god, his symbol was an ass, was the first god of the dog star. Similarly, the word Iu, the coming one, they're talking about a Messiah, is a name for ass. These types belong to the cult of Set Typhon during the Sabine period, which preceded the introduction of the solar time reckoning kept by Moses. Set Typhon was called the ass and its fowl, which is talking about scientific evidence, and it's talking about this particular ass, and we'll get into that in another detailed study. I don't want to go into that all day. Now, what happened was this. You had this ever-coming one, which is a Messiah. His name was Iu-Sa, I-U-S-U, so it's I-U-S-A is one of the names, I-U-S-U, or I-U-S-I-F. And the I-U-S-I-F is a word that they put together to mean Jesus. I-U-S-I-F is a word that they put together to mean Jesus. Was the ever-coming Son, the Messiah, the true I-U, the son of the mother of the coming one of the double Heru harvest. Now, I-U was also a preacher, and this is the Egyptian Messiah. It's a form of Heru harvest. He's also a preacher. And he's coming, this particular Messiah, which you get the word Jesus is a compound or a combination of these particular words. Now we be saying that Joshua ben Pandera is the historical Jesus, but now they're saying that they ain't got evidence to say that he never existed. We don't know what's going on. But we understand that there was a Christ figure 2,000 years ago that did exist. Went into the mystery system and didn't get all of the gods to it. And so that whole cult came up out of that. But remember now, we can trace Christianity back before Jesus, so obviously something is going on here. And we understand that the meat that's up under the Bible, it can go to the Kabbalistic breakdown, is also talking about the breakdown of the soul. So now we got doggone tricks going on here with the religion in the exoteric form. There's two kinds of religion. There's the exoteric, which all the masses get and are dumbfounded, which is called moral teaching. That's the teacher, child. how to act civilized. That's meant for the beast. It's denoting some of your nature. Then there's the exoteric, which is the explanation of your nature. You see, you are now reduced down to the point that you got moral teachers. And like I say anytime, if you're in a doggone church, and he's supposed to be teaching you what you're supposed to know, 10 years down the road, you don't supposed to be there. You're supposed to have gone on to another level. It's supposed to be just like college. Remember now, in the ancient mystery system, you learn the religion and you learn all the other stuff at the same time. If you still last 30, 40, maybe 60 years listening to children's stories, obviously you're not progressing. You understand what I'm saying? You're not progressing if you're still in the kindergarten. And basically what we have with the actual religion is we have kindergarten stuff or Sunday school, and you never really graduate out of Sunday school. You just take the Sunday school and get a little more technical, the preacher just comes up and holler a little more. You see what I'm saying? So this is the type of stuff that's going on. This is your drug right now. And if you notice now, look on the TV. Look, if you get cable, every other station got somebody preaching. Now, if that is something that people are preaching in the last days, then obviously that is a drug. Because the white man, if it was liberation, he would not put it on. And if it tapped into your real spirituality, he would not put it on. I'm like John Henry Clark. I can sit up here and say that serves you no good. You say this, but I get so spiritual. You get that same spirit when you go see Michael Jackson jumping up and down. That's a part of your nature. That's a part of your nature. The black man can get spiritual off of a roach if he tap into it the right way. And if I taught you that Mickey Mouse was a god, you get spiritual off that because you are actually expressing a part of your nature, which is the nature of God, and it ain't got nothing to do with some doctrine that you say that make you feel this doggone good. Okay, now, let's go on. I get it. Now, this particular I-U-E-M Hetia, it's a form of the same word. He was a preacher in Kemet, which is a Messiah. The Hebrew preacher is identified with Jesus, who is a form of the same one. Now, I want to show you something right here to let you know some things that we can, because when we get into this Ark of the Covenant, we can understand what is going on right now. But like I said on the radio show, they got to pay a doggone price also for messing up, okay? Now, let's get into this. I want to show you something. I said it on the radio the other night, but I wanted to read this to you. Find out, and I can zero out. These are out-of-print books that you know. All the good stuff is out of print. Ain't that funny? But I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll leave a couple of copies up at Black Media. The actual Hebrews were northern Ethiopians. The Jews are said to be a racial remnant from a golden age. The golden age in mythology, that was Sut-Nub. Sut-Nub is another form of Sut-Nesi, Sut, which is talking about the first primordial god, and it's called the god of the Negroes. It's called the black one. Or Set-Typhon in period. The Jews come from a northern part of Ethiopia, crossing the desert, and seem to have been the builders of the pyramids, which have perhaps evidence of Egyptian origins. On the plains of Africa were the remnants of the pyramids discovered, while the wild tribes who regarded them as holy foundations, which will be laid to bear. Now, they're saying that the actual Ethiopians and this first Sut-Typhon religion were the actual builders of the pyramids. If you get work studying Imhotep, you will find out that he was a follower of this first blue-black god too. What I'm doing is this. Most of you who have been taught on Egyptology, you get the Budges books. The Budges books is primarily talking about the Amun-Ra's code. You have a Sut-Typhon code, which you get the Massey's work explain this. It is an older one that reaches all the way back to Ethiopia and on back into Atlantis. So it is the one that is rising up. But the Amun code is nothing but the same names of the same deities changed. Just like the Jews changed all the stuff in Egypt. You see. Ptah is none other than Sut. God of the perfect black Osiris fashioned himself after the first blue black god Sut or Set. That particular, all of the gods, the male deities, fashioned themselves after Sut. And all of the female fashioned themselves after his mother. Now, like I said before, God had a mother. It's just that we're down so low, we think that God is the ultimate. God is only a grain of sand on a lonely beach compared to the great mother, which is the ultimate concept of universe where there are parallel universes. Okay? Parallel universes. So now, the northern Ethiopians were first Hebrews, and we understand that lineage, once they became established as Hebrews other than Kemites, it went back into Ethiopia and they remain there today. Okay, now that is key for what is going on also. Now, Moses was educated, as Manetho tells us, in the temple of the sun at the city of the sun. That's one of the temples in Kemet. Probably in Karnak or Luxor, one of those. He was an Egyptian priest who was that of the Israelites, and the Jews would rule, who knew. Now listen, check this out. He was this Egyptian priest, and he knew that the Israelites or the Jews would rule at the culmination of the present age. That means that this particular religion that we had got on the scene, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, is a spin-off of the Hebrews' particular religions, which is nothing but a replica of the ancient Egyptian religion. Moses, knowing prophecy, understood that this would happen at the present age of justice. And he knew that he would return at this period as the world leader and give forth the real justice of Mosaic power under the new polarity, which will manifest in its entirety before the new actual progress that shall be established. And this period of the planet Saturn and the ruling planet of the other sign of Scorpio, which is Capricorn, which is under Saturn rules Scorpio, will come into conjunction with the unseen planet and to serve a justified evolution. Now remember, I told you that the Africans knew that they had fallen. They knew that based on their fall had something to do with Saturn, and they understood that Africa could not change their condition, not unless Saturn was repolarized in Africa by Africans. That unseen planet that it needs to be repolarized is Jupiter, which is also called Iupito, which is none other than the actual Christ also, which is a form of that. Which we understand that the repolarization of Saturn and Jupiter in Africa is called the Sigi ceremony, done every 60 years by the Dogon tribe. That is about to take place soon. Moses understood the prophecy because all of them could foresee the prophecy. They could foresee into the future. Moses understood this, so when this particular group of people got kicked out of Kemet, he established himself as the high priest. And you can get the actual documents of Josephus, which are ancient documents that explain that. He's upset and he's trying to do a hostile letter against Apion, because Apion the scribe wrote about it. And also Manetho in his works, when he's given to Greek to explain the history of Egypt in a work called Soptis, which is Sirius, he explains the same thing about Apion the scribe, that's explaining what really happened to the particular Jews. Moses understood that they would later on rule, because that religion is the one that spread it all over the world at this particular time. And Islam is a part of that religion. That's why your deities in Islam is the same as in the Bible. If there's some religion that's remotely different. But if you take those deities and some of these figures that they turn into literal history, if you trace it back into mystery, it will go into the gods of Kemet. So some of the actual figures that they made into regular men in the actual Bible and angels in the actual Bibles, if you trace those back, they go into gods, into Kemet. Okay? All right, let's go on. Adani, which is this god Aiwass, also this word Jah, which is the word also El, means Adani, Jah, the Hebrew El, the Lord, has a biblical connection. The Lord of Israel is spoken to be dwelling between the ark that was amidst them, was the ark, that point of the covenant between the heavens and earth in the constellation of the thigh, was known as the ship of the north of the Holy of Holies in the entry. Now, you got two kind of arks that's going on. You got the Ark of the Covenant, a physical ark, and then you got another ark that they call the flying ark, which is talking about spaceships. This god Adani, or this particular god El, which means child, if you El to Har, to Heru is actually talking about the Kemetic God, and the real true Messiah, Heru, that will rise, which which is talking about rising and coming on ships, motherships, or arcs, or spaceships that they're talking about. Spaceships. And I'll turn over my notes to Black Media. You can get these notes and study these notes also too. We'll do that. Now, what is going on is you got two kind of arcs. You got the flying arcs and you have the Ark of the Covenant. Okay? Now, some of those same gods is Sut Neshi, Sut Har, Atan, the blue-black Sut, the Kaaba, Allah, which is all the same. That first primordial sun, you got the El, which means God, which means the child. Then you have the Lot, which you got a silent T, which means La, which is talking about the primordial great mother, which is the triple blackness of space. And you got a conjunction of the same two words to say Allah, which they say, well, this is one of the best words to describe it all, because they understood that heaven is only a veil before the great mother. And by it being only a veil, that particular God has a mother. So when you say Allah, you're talking about mother and son. If you trace that back to Kemet, it'd be Sut, and it would be the mother Apis, or the hippopotamus goddess, or Tyre, or Nut, the triple blackness of space. Okay? I want to read that again. I got to put that in there, but that's a beautiful thing. I want to read this for you, and I have this, it's talking about, this particular, it's also an Arabic term of that triple blackness in space. It's called Leola, or Layla. And it says, behold, I have lived many years, and I have traveled in every country under the dominion of the sun. I have sailed from sea to sea, from pole to pole. And I lift up my voice and testify that all is vanity on earth, except the love of a good woman, a good black woman. And that good woman is called Leola, or Layla, L-A-Y-L-A-H, which is a form of that La. If you L-A-H is at the bottom, is the form of that La, and they say Allah. It's an Arabic term called Leola, talking about the triple blackness of space, which I had already explained to you that the white man had already concluded that that triple blackness of space is something in a book called Through a Universe Darkly by Marcia Bertowski. The cosmic tale of ancient ethers and the dark matter that will determine the fate of the universe. That dark matter is also in you, called melanin. The actual part, we say the magnification of that would be the triple blackness of space. So he said all is vain on earth except the love of a good woman, a good black woman. Leola, I testified that in heaven is all in vanity. As I sojourn off to every part of the heaven, he's saying that all that in heaven, all of the stars, is vanity, meaning second. He said he's gone all over the heaven except the love of Our Lady Babylon. Babylon is another word for this Leola. See, some of these terms that you think is talking about, the beast in esoteric terms is talking about science. And it ain't got nothing to do with literal history at all. You just been studying fairy tales. You understand? You've been studying fairy tales. And I testify and I testify that beyond heaven, beyond the primordial star that they call Sirius, which the Africans call heaven, beyond heaven and earth is Our Lady Nut. Nut is another word for the triple blackness of space, which the mother and the son. And seeing that I am old and stricken in many years, and that my natural voice is failed, therefore I rise up upon the throne and call upon the end. And then I am youth eternal, meaning he's gone to godhood now. And then at the end, she is Leola, Babylon, Nut, which talk about the triple blackness of space. When I had the actual transmission from the brother Melchizedek, I was trying to say, well, who is the head of you all? And he said, up here, we are all one. So I'm asking all these earth terminology, and they kept putting me in check. I say, but he said, no, he said the other stuff beyond us is something you can't even comprehend. He said, but what it is life eternal, and it magnifies where we can create this thing all over again. So the black woman can create over and over again and saying, for the end, she is at the end. That's what they say, she is and she shall be. And when we trace the history of the black woman all the way back, we find out she's the mother of us on earth. Now, I told you in the Temple of Dendera, which they usually show the zodiac, but they don't show the other part drawn by Napoleon artists, where they show the microcosm showing you that the triple blackness of space, symbolized as Tyre, the Apis, which is the first primordial mother, is giving birth to all the other gods. But then they show the microcosm, that's the macrocosm. Then they show the microcosm, which means the earth gods. They show a black woman stretching out her hand saying, this is the god of heaven, which is symbolized as a hippopotamus goddess, which is symbolized as the voices of the triple blackness of space. And the earth representation of her is the black woman. Okay? Want to get that right too, dealing with this particular. The Kaaba is also called the Black Adam, which is the first triple blue black god, and I'm gonna get into some science on the Kaaba when I get into this real technical stuff about Aiwass, okay? Now, Aiwass, Kaaba, and the sun, and the number 12, we're gonna get into some science on that. Number one, let's get into some stuff on the Ark of the Covenant, but before I do that, I wanna get into some other things that's going on. The white man is controlling us by our biological setup. Everything that he is doing is based on a war against the biological breakdown of the black man and black woman. Through diet, through everything. Through the water, the air, and everything that we actually do. Now we understand, and I'm supposed to have gotten this book by now. It's a book talking about Ramesses' mummy, where they went and took that mummy, and the Ramesses mummy tapped into the actual skin, which is melanin, and have memory. It has a memory. The melanin serves as memory, and they can get Ramesses. They got Ramesses' history. I don't know the white boy did it, but you know he's advancing now too. They said in the last days the heavens will open up to the beast to try to give him a chance. Okay, and so he tapped into this particular melanin, and they actually got his memory bank of his entire life based on what is in the skin, which is the melanin. Also, because he understood history prior to his life, they even got that history. So this is some science on how important the melanin is. It is the primordial substance of the universe. Okay? Now, I read some stuff, and I always quote this, and it's talking about in the temple of Seti I. It says, there are three groups of men, three groups of races, as we had gathered the signification of their names. The Tamahu is a light-complected people. In Egyptian, Tama means people and created. I'm talking about the created man. Hu means white, light, and ivory. The Tamahus are the created white people. The Na, which means black ink, talking about that Nasi or that Neshi. The Nan, which means black bird. The Shu, which means a person of birth. The Nashu or the Nasi are black-born, are the Egyptians in a phase from the black egg. They're talking about melanin. They're talking about that first man. Ham, the rudder, the petal, the fish. Hemi, to Sia, Himu, this